is one of the best Town Hall 14 attack strategies for 3 stars, featuring a strong queen charge, Yeti bomb blimp, and twin hog riders to smash any base. So let's use the fundamentals, army composition, and a live attack from yours truly to fully grasp this strategy. Now, this army is the baseline army. This is what I would recommend for most players who are new to this strategy. Of course, it can change depending if you need, for instance, more funneling troops or cleanup troops. So it's a very flexible army. Of course, you've got the regular hogs and super hogs alongside having healers, so you can do a queen charge. You've got rage, freeze, invisibility, and a skeleton spell to really help both your queen charge and your hog riders get the most amount of value, and a very flexible CC that can be used on any base, hence the Yeti bomb blimp. Of course, I'd recommend keeping a hold of this army as you will need it for later, which should also give you plenty of time to subscribe and ring the bell for more quality content like this. So let's start with arguably the hardest part of this attack, the queen charge. Typically with this, you want to look for a couple different things: the enemy CC troops, the enemy queen or royal champion, and as many key defenses as possible. So funneling her is by far the most important. Typically using baby dragons is the best, especially if you are using super wall breakers. You have the king and the Yeti blimp to do so to help funnel, but we'll talk about those soon. It's recommended though that you use rage spells as you move across the base. Specifically, you want to use them where your queen is being hit by a lot of heavy defenses. This can be like a Tesla farm or prolonged exposure to a ground expo. This is just going to keep your queen up, smash through those areas a little bit quicker, but it also will allow you to use your rage spells against other defensive units such as the enemy heroes or even the enemy CC. This is going to allow you to get the most value off of the base before you send in the hogs. You might also want to take advantage of the invisibility spell, as you want to keep your queen and healers alive, especially if you're going into a multi-target inferno or your healers are within range of the town hall. So all of that will allow you to reassess what you need to get with your queen charge and where you should go next with this attack. Now, not only do you have the queen charge going on at the same time, but you also need something to cut off the funnel on one side. This is where the king comes into play. The king is used during the queen charge to funnel her and make sure to cut off one side of the funnel and get something more in the process. What I would recommend doing though is angling him on a building to make sure that he goes in the right direction without needing to funnel him. So place him in a certain way to where he attacks the building that you place him on and then moves towards the next building, therefore allowing you to control his pathing and where he'll move next. Any sort of high value defenses that you should try to remove with the king is usually the Eagle Artillery, Scattershot, or Inferno Towers, all of which is what I would try to recommend removing with him if possible. This is also going to allow you to possibly lure out the enemy CC. And if you can lure out the enemy CC without having to go towards it, can be a massive win for you. You can even deal with the enemy CC while your king is distracting them with a poison and freeze spell. Now, you already have 2 other things clearing entire compartments. The Yetis can clear an entire compartment under one single rage spell. What you should mainly look for is stuff like the Town Hall, Scattershot, Inferno Towers, and even the Eagle Artillery are all great options for you to use the Yeti bomb on. So I would recommend using one rage just before the blimp pops so you can get your Yetis and Yeti mites to clear out a ton of defenses in a short amount of time. This may also lure out the enemy CC if it's within range. This can be a very good thing as it allows your queen charge to deal with this enemy CC earlier rather than later. Now we get to the main event, the twin hogs. I'd recommend by starting with these super hogs first with the warden and the royal champion. This is the main part of your army, and you can send in the regular hogs right behind them, but that's not ideal. Using 3 to 4 hog riders on defenses that are on the outside of the base will give you more than enough time to move through with the super hogs. Of course, if there are no defenses on the outside, you can just surgically place in your Hogs to provide extra damage and support, while the Super Hogs do a major part of the work. Of course, you've got the Warden ability, so that way you are keeping your Hogs and your Super Hogs protected. Of course, this also allows you to prepare spells to be used with them. You might also want to send Headhunters while you're using the Hog Riders, so you can deal with any enemy heroes that are left up, such as the King, the Queen, or the Royal Champion, if you haven't yet already dealt with them. Of course, you just want to make sure that you're making your life easier, so that is where those spells come into play. Using a leftover rage, if possible, allows the Super Hogs, especially under the Warden ability, to get massive value considering that they do a lot of damage under rage. Of course, you've also got skeleton spells, which can distract a Scattershot or Wizard Tower, and of course, you also have the free spells. Any leftover free spells are great as it provides a lot of value with the Super Hogs, considering there are some defenses that you really can't avoid, such as the multi-target Infernos or the Eagle Artillery if it's still up. All of which will allow you to get a well-earned 3-star with this complex strategy. So, let's do one live so we can also go through more of the details and my own attack planning. So let's go ahead and get started by placing in our Queen. Let's place in our healers, and let's place in a Wizard up here. And that should go down before the Archer Tower does. Okay, that controls her. And now let's send in our Yeti Blimp. Alright, things are looking good. Let's use a Rage, pop the Blimp. Alrighty, there we go. We're looking quite good. That will lure out the CC, so we're going to get ready with the poison. Looks like the Queen is being dealt with. So let's drop in a poison right there. They'll start moving their direction over towards the Queen. I'm going to drop in a freeze, and that will deal with that. Let's come down here, and let's send in 2 sneaky goblins right there. Sneaky right here. And let's use 2 balloons right there. There's another sneaky on either one of these. So that should funnel the Queen. So I'm going to use a Rage right here. Keeps the Queen and healers alive. So things are looking quite good. Alrighty. Let's see, let's send in another... Let's use our Baby Dragon over here. Alright, things are looking pretty good. You just need to manage on time as well. Use Rage. Let's use Invisibility. And once that goes down, there we go. Let's use our King over here. Let's use Giant, 2 Wizards. And then we're going to send in our Hogs, Warden, and our Royal Champion. Let's start using some of these Hog Riders towards the outside of the base. Let's use a skeleton spell right here. And Rage. 3 Headhunters. Grand Warden ability. Let's use our King ability. These are looking quite good. We still have a couple free spells. Let's use a freeze on this Scattershot. They should go to one of these buildings next. We have the healers switching. This is really nice. Let's use another freeze right there. This is looking really wrecked. Let's use our RC ability, clear through some of these defenses. Let's use our Queen ability. We still got some cleanup troops as well. Got some swag troops here. And there we go. That is going to be a 3-star for us. Just goes to show that this strategy is definitely a very flexible army and can be used quite well. Honestly, this is an army I never really got to use before making this video, and it's a very strong army the more and more that you practice it. So thank you to my channel members for supporting me in everything I do here. Of course, if you want to join channel memberships, just click the join icon right next to my channel name. Of course, if you want another powerful Town Hall 14 army, look no further to the Super Barch, and I'll see you there.